we've had to live these protocols since we started international football back in January, and it's not easy to actually live those protocols. You know, the rules that sort of define now these international environments make it very restrictive for people. So, you know, I think it's difficult for players, and again, once the virus is in an environment, it's very hard to contain. I mean, we're fortunate here. We've got a lot of medical staff, people that are focused on it, but I know some teams, they just don't have the depth of resources. So yeah, I do feel for Haiti. They've lost some good players, but you know, this is tournaments. You know, we've lost good players, whether it's through injury or people not coming in, and we'll probably lose more players given the amount of yellow cards that we've got piling up. So, I mean, these things happen in tournaments. One thing I know about Haiti, Neil, is they always show up. It doesn't matter who's on the pitch. The passion, the pride, the battle always comes. So I think that the critical part for us is the mentality of not falling into that trap of taking this Haitian team lightly. I don't think you can take any Haitian team lightly.
John Molinaro.
Thank you. Hi, John. Thanks, as always, for taking the time to speak to us. You mentioned the yellow cards there, and I think it was 6 guys who were cautioned in the opening game. So I'm just wondering how much of that will sort of play in terms of squad rotation tomorrow? And is there any chance that Ayo Akinola might make his Canadian debut?
Yeah, I mean, it's a real headache, John, that's for sure. I don't know how many World Cups, Olympic Games, tournaments I've been to, and I've never, you know, came out of a first game with 6 yellows, and to some very important players as well. It's really a tricky situation. But I think tomorrow it's a game we must win. You know, if you win that second game, it puts you in complete control. Typically puts you in the quarterfinal and allows you to, you know, make those considerations in game 3. Although game 3 is the US, which I'm sure every man will want to play in that. You know, the bigger responsibility is always going to be, you know, how do we manage the squad for the tournament and the end goal. But tomorrow is it's one game at a time. We'll, you know, put the best team out there tactically to win the game, and que sera, sera. Whatever happens in that match will happen. We need to make sure we get the result, and we're comfortable before we can start thinking about, you know, managing yellow cards and rotating yellow cards. I mean, we've gone through our processes. Our analysts have looked at the tendencies of those 6 players, and, you know, which players have the tendencies to accumulate those yellow cards, at what time they accumulate it. Is it fatigue related? Is it positional? Is it just their personality? So we've been building a detailed deck, which I've never had to do before. But lucky again, we've got analysts that are able to provide that information to us, so we can just be smart if the opportunity allows itself. But again, you know, you've seen Haiti, and they took US right to the wire the other day. You know, we've had tough experiences against them in the past. Yeah, I don't see this game ever being easy. And in terms of Ayo Akinola, you know, Ayo's been training well. Obviously, he stayed behind for the TFC game. He hasn't been part of, you know, much of the work we've done in the past. So, you know, getting him up to speed is taking some time. And all I know is every time I speak to him, he's ready and he's excited and he wants to make his debut. So let's see if it's tomorrow.
Thomas Neff.
Hey, John, you've added Christian Gutierrez to the Gold Cup squad officially. I know you've worked with him a little bit in the past, in the January camp and March. He's currently on standby with the Whitecaps since they only have 1 left back. But what are the chances we see him in this tournament or in the Ocho?
Yeah, it's possible. You know, I had a good chat with the Whitecaps and to provide them with my sort of rationale and to understand his situation. You know, when you've done sort of 5-6 days with a group of guys, the train's left the station in terms of outlining the vision, getting a solidarity around our goals. And then you only get 5 days to really start laying down the tactical blueprint. And from then it's into recovery, it's into, you know, the odd session here and there where you can impart tactical knowledge and behaviors. So, you know, being in this environment for a player that's now coming in as the 23rd man, it's difficult. And, you know, I think with Christian, he is the left back, starting left back at the Whitecaps. You know, there's a chance he could come in here and go 3 games without getting any game time. And I think the reality is if he's playing at his club, which, you know, most of the time he does, he's got 3 games coming up there that keeps him in match rhythm. He's in a training rhythm at his club, which is more natural to a game rather than an international window where there's 2-day, 3-day turnarounds. So we're happy for him to remain at his club and to help his club through that period to keep himself match fit. And if there's any more COVID-related situations or injuries, Christian will be on the flight immediately.
Andrea Canales. Andrea, unmute yourself, please.
Hi, John. Thanks. I wanted to ask about your perspective on dual nationals. It seems like Canada's getting into a little bit of a win some with Ayo and lose some with maybe Flores or other. What's as head coach your team philosophy for the dual nationals that you come across for? Well, I guess dual nationals with that also have possibilities with the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, it's normal at international level. I mean, FIFA has relaxed some of the rules now around that dual nationality. But for us, the first thing is the work to make sure we've got players on our depth charts, and the next job is for our team to keep moving forward with its performances. I think the team winning and consistently winning, pushing itself into the World Cup qualification playoffs for the first time in 20 odd years. Hopefully a good run at the Gold Cup keeps sending messages to, you know, those players that can't choose. And we have to admit, you know, the Mexican Federation for someone like Marcelo Flores is probably a bigger draw card for him. You know, given that they've had a history of qualifying for World Cups, but also the business side of this game, which, you know, what I've learned very clearly is, you know, a lot of decisions are made on the sort of business proposition of playing for a certain national team. But I think Canada is starting to, you know, become more of a force. It's becoming more attractive given, you know, the way that we play, the type of players that we have, and the goals that we've set for ourselves. And if those things are attractive enough to these young men, which it was for Ayo, you know, the closer I think we get to be able to qualify for 2022, the more players I think will come across to us. So I think getting to a World Cup is every player's dream. And if you can show that that's potential in a red jersey with a maple leaf on, then I think more players will come.
We'll take 2 more questions. Neil Davidson.
John, Gutierrez aside, is everybody else available for tomorrow? I understand Harry Patton was in COVID protocols for the first match.
Yeah, Patton's still in his COVID protocol. I think his last few days of isolation. So Patton will be unavailable. Everyone else is ready to go, which is good news.
Thank you.
We'll finish with Gavino.
Thank you very much. Hi, John. It's Gavino from Montreal. John, I want to talk about the Maxime Crépeau. How did you find his work last game, even though it was not very busy? Is it tough for you to judge the goalie's work when he's not facing a lot of shots? Thank you.
Yeah, it is tough. It really is tough to judge it. And Maxime, unfortunately, the games he's had for Canada, he's been in those situations in my tenure where there hasn't been much to do. So the only thing I can judge is his club form, where, you know, at times he has a lot to do with the Vancouver Whitecaps in games. You know, he's pulling off man of the match performances, and particularly the form he was in coming into this camp. It was, yeah, pretty special. So, you know, that's all I can judge at this moment. And then how he trains. I mean, he's up against some top quality strikers, and there's a good assessment there. And if I'm honest, I mean, you know, all three keepers have been in great form this week. So it's very competitive. So, you know, I think Maxime's under that pressure, as all keepers are, all number ones, that they've got a 2 and a 3 that are just really breathing down their necks. And I feel like that's been the case in the camp, you know, these last few days.
Coach, thank you so much. With this, we conclude the first part of this press conference with Team Canada. We would like to invite player Kyle Laren.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Hello, Kyle, welcome. Max, can you please unmute Kyle's microphone? Guys, can we please unmute the players? Thank you. Great. Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
So we'll start with the question of John Molinaro.
Thank you. Hi, Kyle. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us. You know, this is a Haitian side that your guys are obviously familiar with, although it sounds like they're going to be missing some players tomorrow. Just from your perspective, what kind of proposition does Haiti propose tomorrow?
Yeah, we played them in the last qualifying games, and they're a very physical team. Either they have guys missing or not. No, they're a very physical team, and they never stop fighting, and we know that from the last game we played them. We played them away and home, and they're a very physical team. So it's going to be a difficult one again, and we'll stick to our game plan, and we have the players to go out there and win the game.
Thomas Neff.
Hey, Kyle, you're tied with your teammate Lucas Cavallini for 5th in Canadian national team all-time goal scoring. I know that this is a collective sport, but does that sort of individual record mean something at all, that maybe by the end of 2021, you might be inching closer to tying or breaking Dwayne Dorzera's record of 22 goals?
Yeah, I mean, the goals are fun to score, but I don't really focus on the goals really when I'm in the national team, and we have a great group of guys, and whoever scores, it's always fun whoever scores. But I love scoring, and Cavla scoring too. Even Jonathan David, he's not here, he has a lot of goals too, and when someone passes that record, it's going to be a great accomplishment. It was me, Cavla, or Jonathan, and what's more important is the Gold Cup right now, and then make it to the finals and the qualifying games that were coming up, and we all want to make it to the World Cup. So, I mean, at the end, if someone breaks it, it's going to be a good thing for us, and in making the World Cup, all the players on the team will be recognized too. So it'll be a good accomplishment to get that. Either it's me, Jonathan, or Lucas.
John Molinaro.
I'm good, thank you.
James Grossi.
Thank you. Hey, Kyle. What would be a measure of success for you for this group in this tournament? You know, the team's turned a corner in the last several years in terms of being a force in this region, and what would define success for you at this Gold Cup?
I mean, I've been to a couple Gold Cups now. For me, the team we have and the players we have, the coaching staff, and the last couple games we've been playing, I don't feel like we're the underdog anymore, and I have a lot of confidence in my team, and I enjoy playing with them. And for me, it's making the finals and doing something special with this team, and it'll carry on to the qualifiers.
Neil Davidson.
Hi, Kyle. Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press. you and your teammates have had to live in and play in a COVID world for quite a long time now. I wonder, what's it like at this tournament? Are you and your teammates able to go out and get some fresh air and spend time together? Is there a team room or you're kind of stuck in your hotel rooms? What's life like there at the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really get to go outside that much, but I mean, we're outdoor. I mean, just outside the hotel, but we have our own team player room where we can be together and conversate and play games and and where we see each other in the hotel and see our dinner, breakfast, or lunch. And I mean, we're all focused on Haiti game, and if we make out the group and the quarterfinals, and we keep going on from there. And we're just taking precaution of the COVID situation, and then make sure no one on the team gets it, so we can have everyone available.
Andrea Canales.
Hi, Kyle. I want to know, what are your thoughts on Canada's win in 2000? Obviously, over 20 years ago. Does anybody on the team talk about that at all? Did the coaches bring it up? Does it make you guys feel it's possible, or just so long ago it's not relevant?
I mean, everyone knows on the team, Canada won it then, and Canada won it then, and I mean, we want to do something special again, and we have the players and the coaching staff to do that, and the environment's good in the team, and we have the talent to do it. And it's just getting out the group, and once you hit the quarterfinals, anything can happen. So we're focused on that.
Any other questions for Kyle? Okay, thank you so much, Kyle. And thank you to all MIA members for connecting. The video will be available at the CONCACAF Media Center.
Recording in progress.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to press conference for Team Haiti. We have the head coach, Mr. Jean-Jacques Pierre, here with us. Please raise your virtual hand if you have a question. We will start with Neil Davidson. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach, for taking the time to speak to us today. I hope your team is doing well and healthy. Can you tell us, will you be missing players again tomorrow?
Good evening. Thank you for inquiring about the health of the players of my team. I'm so happy. As you have known, you have heard a few players will be missing. It was the case for 5 of them already, and 2 additional will be missing tomorrow. So 7 players will be missing for the match. 7. So we took the measures necessary every time we learn something to protect the rest of the group and continue to prepare this competition.
Caleb, yeah, go ahead.
Caleb, Pierre, I have 2 questions. First question. We have sound issues. We're not able to translate. Apologies, the sound is very bad. I did not understand. Hello, Coach, can you hear me now? It's Caleb Pierre for Haiti Tempo. I have 2 questions. First question is, you have 9 players who are positive. This affects the group. What's the moral of how are they feeling? And Asteus is the only player that you use it won't be present tomorrow. How are you going to replace him? Hello, Jefte. With regards to the number, we have 22 available. I have 15 available. You must have information I don't have yet. And so the profile will change, but determination of the player who will replace, they will do his work for the it's not easy to say that some players are missing, but to know that a player is impacted by this virus is not easy. It's not funny at all. We're continuing to work, and we're hoping that we will be able to do the match, and we will be able to play as well with the even though we have missing players. So Hudson Jack, good evening, Coach Jean-Jacques. I'm Hudson Jack. I'm working for from Ash Department of the Center. I have 2 questions for you. Congratulations for the for your success until now. The first question: so the team is impacted by the coronavirus. What's the impact on the minds of the team? And preliminaries, you have a smaller team. What system do you have in place to have good results tomorrow? So thank you for the question. So Caleb asked the same question. It's not easy for them because they are also taking a lot of precautionary measures. There are many changes with regards to the impacted players. For the match against Canada, there are less players. The system will not change, though. We will have the same system. The players will change. It will depend on what we'll have produced individually, but as a whole, we know what to do. Good evening, Coach. Total Mix. I will summarize. First of all, we lost Gabby Joseph.
Mr. Joseph, we lost you. Could you try to ask your question again? We can come back to you. Gavino Falco, go ahead.
Gavino De Falco has the floor.
Merci beaucoup, Coach. Une question en provenance de Montréal. Écoutez, Coach, le Canada a perdu contre vous en 2019 à la Gold Cup. Depuis ce temps, ils se sont replacés. Qu'est-ce que vous pouvez nous dire sur vos adversaires de demain? Merci.
About your adversaries of tomorrow. Thank you. Good evening. Hello. Thank you for the question. 2019, that was 2 years ago. We've played on June 12th and June 15th. It's a team that was rebuilt that can make the difference between details that were very important in both matches, and also we noticed and we prepared it. We took into consideration for tomorrow. It will be a different match, another competition. We'll have to go back on the matches we played before, but we have to forget about what we did before and we have to focalize on the adversary and know what we do and do what we have set to do. Hello, Caleb Jefte for Haiti Tempo. You will play against Canada, and there are three elements: the goalkeeper and Jonathan David and Zoneus are not there. What changed in the Canadian team, and how do you think you will tackle this match? Good evening. Hello again, Caleb. We don't really look at which players are missing or not. The players who were there. We will have to optimize the performance of every player tomorrow. And in this match against Canada, we don't have the time to see. We know we have something to do. We will concentrate on us, concentrate on our team, and we'll see in details with regards to the strategy, what will work against this Canada team. But the coach's animation will remain the same, and what he does, we will take it into consideration. Jean-Etienne, good evening, Jean-Jacques. I would like to have information on which new players we won't have because of the coronavirus, and why the Haitian selection has so many players that are positive during the competition. Good evening, Jean-Pierre. Brian and Ibdo are the new players. We will be another wave in the good way with regards to the consequences. They remain unknown. We always did what we were supposed to do, and it started with 2 players who were vaccinated after the match against Bermuda. The next day, they had symptoms. For us, were symptoms with regards to the vaccination they got the day before. But what was important and interesting is that we isolated them. We put them under quarantine very fast to protect the rest of the team. But I can to give you a precise idea of consequences with regards to this wave, contamination wave. I cannot tell you. It's unknown to me up to now. Hadi Raphael has the floor. Thank you. Hello, Coach. Could you tell us about your chances, despite the absence of these players? You're thinking about your team. Do you think you have chances to beat Canada despite of the 7 players missing? Do you have this chance to win? We do this to win. We never go on the field thinking that we can't win. We know that with the players missing, these are important players. This is something I always told my players. We have a quality group. We can replace any player. The profile will change, but the behavior will remain the same. Determination, motivation will stay the same. These are ingredients we are betting on to play the match for tomorrow. We will do it for us, for them who are not there, and for the country who needs it now. With these 3 things, we cannot go on the field that, because we have to think about winning, because it's an important match for the following follow-up. Yes. Hello, coach. This is Gabby from Total Mix. In the first question, the first part of my question, I'd say, Brian Sylvestre, we lost Gabby Joseph.
Le 15, un mois exactement pour un troisième match. Est-ce qu'on comptait pour t'apprendre en défaite pour pas t'essayer en victoire, faire en victoire face avec le Canada? Ça, c'est la première partie question. La deuxième partie, c'est dans l'entrevue que tu as dernièrement
In the interview you gave with United Communication Haitian Federation, Basile, you kept him anyway. Don't you think that he was in a state where that could help you with the COVID cases that you have now? Basile, wouldn't Basile be important for you? We have lost Gabby Joseph.
Encore une fois, nous, on ne cherche pas non plus des circonstances pour dire que c'est la faute d'eux. Non, il y a jamais de faute d'eux.
No, it's never their own error, their mistake. There are circumstances that occur negatively, but we adapt. Go into our favor, so the result of the match will not be the consequence of the COVID or the missing player. With regards to Basile, you have to consult administrative leaders. He's a player we counted on. There are things I cannot say. I cannot say today. You have to talk to the people concerned. Thank you for your time.
We'll continue the press conference with player from Team Haiti, Ricardo Ede. Philip Pierre, go ahead.
Bonsoir Ade, c'est
Hello, Ade. It's Caleb Gifte for Haiti Tempo. My question is for you. As the captain of the team, how do you feel the group a few hours from confronting Canada, and what do you believe has changed in your team and enable for you to secure a victory against Canada? Good evening. Thank you for the question. As a captain, I can say I have a group that is a winning team. That's what we're here for. There are people affected by the COVID, but we remain concentrated and motivated, and we are replacing the players. And we will do what is important. It's not an easy match. We never think about losing. As I said, we will fight tomorrow, so we can feel at home. Gabby Joseph. Hello, Ade. This is Gabby from Total Mix. Don't you think that it's a lack of responsibility for that, because there are so many COVID cases? Good evening, Gabby. I can say yes and also no. If I said yes, as a professional player, we know it's the illness there in the group. We were negligent, and and there are people who came to visit us in the hotel, but we were fine up to now. After these two players who took the vaccines, and then next day they felt unwell, and then they infected the rest of the group. But we had masks on, and we didn't let people come visit us in the hotel. But we were fine up to that time. Jean-Pierre Etienne for Radio Ibo. Ricardo Ade, good evening. My question is on a player who won't be here tomorrow, Brian Alseuski, who always played for Haiti. With this absence, what will the team be missing? Good evening, Jean-Pierre. As I said, we will. The Haitian people say it's really, he's a guy who can do a lot by himself. He will be missing a middle fielder, but the person replacing him will do the job too.
Oui, est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un?
Go ahead.
Oui, bonjour. Une question en provenance de Montréal, Ricardo Alfonso Davies ne sera pas disponible demain. Même chose pour Jonathan David. À quel point ça change la donne de votre côté, sachant que ces deux très bons joueurs-là du côté du Canada ne seront pas disponibles?
When you know that
Merci.
these two players from Canada won't be available. Good evening. Thank you for the question. I think the absence of these players, they have a very high level, and the selection is counting a lot on these players, but it's not a problem for us. We don't see only two players when we play against Canada. It could be even more dangerous because you don't have these two players. So the two players will have to show off more and to be up to the task. Jean-Etienne.
Jean-Etienne, go ahead.
C'est encore Jean-Pierre Etienne. Jean-Pierre
Etienne, what was the biggest lesson you learned about the two matches? What did lessons that really marked you that you can use, that you learned for the upcoming match? Jean-Pierre, hello again. I can say we should hold on till the end. We have to focus. So 98 minutes. That's the lesson we have to learn. Till the end, we have to apply it to the end. To hold on till the end. Gabby Joseph, hello, Ade. In 2019, the political situation of the country wasn't as bad, but it wasn't good. And during the last matches, you brought a smile to the people of Haiti. Do you believe it's a good time to have a victory against Canada, to have the people of Haiti smile in this difficult period? Gabby, thank you for the question. I can say yes, because inside the selection, every time we play, we always think about that. It's the Asian people. You said 2019, but it's been a long time that the people have been suffering for a long time. So we are the smile on the people's face. And I was in the selection in 2019 for administrative question. I wasn't able to participate, but I followed at home how the beautiful things the selection did during the Gold Cup in 2019. Things are more dire. With a victory tomorrow, we will make the people of Haiti smile again.